Welcome to January 23rd, the 7th day of the week, not a work day, but a Lord's Sabbath. And it's also time to get right into the Lord's Care Ministry, our daily walk with Jesus, day 23 of the year 2010. We're going to get into visitors arrived from the eastern lands. Brethren, I suggest you write the chapter and verses down that we give you so you can go study the whole context at your own leisure. You can use the pause button down here in the corner to start and stop this lecture as you wish to be able to check up on us or what we're saying. I do make a few private comments as we go through here, so you have to go along with that. With that, we're going to start with Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 8. Blow the dust off your Bibles and come there with me, please. Jesus was born in the town of Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod. At about that time, some astrologers from eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem. Now, I don't think at any place it says they're astrologers. Actually, if you go in through some history books, you'll find that they were some priests from Parthia. And if you don't know much about that, because the Greeks didn't write much about Parthia because they couldn't overtake them in the wars. But so be it. And they were in Jerusalem asking, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? For we have seen his star far off eastern lands and have come to worship him." King Herod was deeply disturbed by their question, and all Jerusalem was filled with rumors. He called a meeting of the Jewish religious leaders. "Did the prophets tell us where the Messiah would be born?" he asked. "Yes, in Bethlehem," they said. "For this is what the prophet Micah wrote. O little town of Bethlehem, you are not just an unimportant Judean village, for a governor shall arise from you to rule my people Israel." Then Herod sent private messages to the astrologers, to the Magi, asking them to come to see him. At this meeting he found out from them the exact time when they first saw the star. Then he told them, "Go to Bethlehem and search for the child, and when you find him, come back and tell me so that I can go and worship him too." Most Jewish people expected the Messiah to be a great military and political deliverer, like Alexander the Great. Herod's counselors undoubtedly told this to Herod. No wonder this ruthless man took no chances and ordered all the boys in Bethlehem killed. In Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. The wise men. Not much is known about these astrologers, also known as wise men. There is a lot known if you want to check history. I have books and it tells you all about who they were, where they was, where they come from. It comes from the lost 10 tribes of Israel found, and he gets it all from history. We do not know where they come from or how many they were. Well, we don't know how many they were, but we don't know how they come from. There was more than 3. Could have been 100 of them with an army. Tradition says there were men of high position from Parthia, near the site of the ancient Babylon. How did they know that the star represented the Messiah? They could have been Jews who had remained in Babylon after the exile and knew the Old Testament prediction of the Messiah coming. They may have been Eastern astrologers who studied ancient manuscripts from around the world because of the Jewish exile centuries earlier. They would have had copies of the Old Testament in their land. They may have been special messages from God directing them to the Messiah. Some scholars say that each of these astrologers from a different nation. No, they weren't. Pardon me for getting in here and debating some of them, but I can't let it go with something that I know otherwise. Representing the entire world bowing before Jesus. These men from faraway lands recognized Jesus as the Messiah, where most of God's chosen people in Israel did not. Matthew pictures Jesus as a king over the whole world, not just Judea. These men traveled thousands of miles to see the King of the Jews. When they finally found them, they responded with joy, worship, and gifts. This is quite different from the approach people often take today. We expect Jesus to come looking for us, to explain himself, prove who he is, and give us gifts. But those who are wise still seek Jesus in their worship of the Father, not for what they can get, but for who he is. Our need for daily prayer. Most blessed Father, worry not of me, for I am often weary of myself. My only hope is in your love, which loves to the uttermost. Prepare yourself yet once again and wash my soiled life